In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do a magic ring, which is how we start amigurumi projects, and with the plush yarn it can be quite troublesome sometimes. So if you try pulling this, it's just not, it just doesn't pull through. So with the plush yarn it's really difficult, and it'll start to, and that's usually what happens. You pull too hard and it snaps, and then you can't use this now. So the first way I've got to try and help with that, wrap it round, cross it over, pin it down underneath there, under the first one, over the second one, pull it up, pull through. Now you want to try and make it quite loose this time, and then when you get to this, you're going to pull it through, pull this piece out. What we're going to do is we're going to close the hole up a little bit this time, so very gently pull that to make a really small hole there. I'm going to keep the stitches really loose. Make sure you're crocheting over both still. So 1, 2, a little bit of a pull again. Make that hole even smaller. You can still get in it, just make it as small as you can while still being able to see where it is. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. And take the hook out, a bit of a scrunch, wiggle, and then pull gently. You don't want to pull too tight, because with this you can't pull it as tight as you would with the acrylic or the cotton, because it would just snap. So pull it as tight as you can until that whole wiggle is closed, and then you can carry on with your second row. With amigurumi you don't slip stitch to close and then chain, we just continue going round. So to find out which one you're starting in, it's easier to count backwards. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to go into this first one. There we go. And then usually the second round is an increase in each stitch. So I like to put a stitch marker in the first stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then you can go back if you want to and just give that a bit of a wiggle very gently. You don't want to snap it off, and just make sure that hole is closed. There you have it. Lovely ring to start your amigurumi project with. Right, the second way, if you really struggle with using the plush yarn, is you can start it with just some normal acrylic yarn and get yourself some off. And start it as you would normally. Cross it over, wrap it round, pull through, twist, and then from here you then want to get your PLUSH yarn and pull through, and then you just crochet as you would normally. Get this one out of the way. Over the loop and both the loop and that piece there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you want to take this piece and pull, and you can pull both really tight. What I like to do is just, so I tie that one to that one, and then I tie these two together just so I know that they're not coming undone. But that, and then we just continue like we did the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One's a bit tighter. We got 1, we stitch marker in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. And as you can see, because you use plush line, you cannot see the acrylic yarn anywhere. It's completely covered, and that hole is extremely tight and closed up, and it's not coming undone at all. The third method that I like to use, which is the one that I use quite often, but sometimes it can leave a bit of a hole. So the acrylic one I find is the best if you want to make sure the hole's closed really well. But then this one I use quite often just because it's a bit quicker. So instead of making the loop, we're going to make a slip knot first. So I'm going to wrap it round, same as we did before, cross over, go underneath the first one, over the top of the second one, twist, but instead of hooking onto that one and pulling through, we're just going to let go, pull, let go of that one, pull this one, and that's made a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 2, try and keep them quite tight little chains, and then into this first one here, so we've got 1, 2, we're going to then crochet all of our single crochets into that first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. As you can see, it's a little hole compared to a normal magic ring. Find if you just gently pull, makes it a bit smaller, and then when you go around the second time it seems to close it up a bit more. So we count back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's our first one in, stitch marker in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like to just give it a wiggle. If you want, you can thread this onto a needle and just secure that hole a little bit more. I find that the little hole that's there doesn't really, I mean you can see it now, but it doesn't really show once you start putting the stuffing in and everything. It seems to close up pretty well. And here's something I made, this little bird. I would have done with the chain 2 method as well, and as you can see it closes up pretty much tight enough so you can't see it, the stuffing's not coming through. I find that it works very well and it's a lot quicker, but obviously if you are worried about the hole, or your hole seems to be a bit bigger, then using the acrylic yarn is probably your best bet. No hole at all, it's very secure. But that's 3 different ways that I like to try. Sometimes if I've got a new yarn that I haven't tried before, I'll try and use the standard method first. Sometimes I get lucky and it works. Some yarns are quite good with that, and other times just not at all. This one doesn't really like it, so I know now if I want to make something with this, I just go to a different method. I don't even try with the other method now. But something like, what have I got? Something like this one. This seems to work okay, the magic ring. I think it's because if you look, the yarn is kind of got a stitch all down the middle. It's holding it all together so it just doesn't fray at all. So when you're working into the magic ring, I'll show you quickly. 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So when you come to pull this yarn, because it's all sewn together and it doesn't fray, it's a lot easier, and you can pull quite hard, and it's easy to do the magic ring. So I know if I find a yarn, there's a couple of different ones, not just this brand, I can't remember what the other one is, but if you find that it looks quite flat and it's sewn down the center, then you're usually good to go with the normal ring method. But yeah, if it's something like the one that we've been using, the proper chenille or velvety, really soft round yarn, I mean, it just, if you can do this and it's just fraying like this is, then you're going to struggle. So I'd try one of the other methods, and let me know if you've tried these. Let me know if there's any other methods that you've tried that I've maybe missed out. Pop them in the comments and share them with everybody else. We'd love to know. Let me know which one you find the easiest to do, and I will see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.